Hello everyone, we are here with another podcast. We have here two interesting people here. One is the technical head, that is Shashwatha here, and another team captain of NITKRacing Electric, that is Manash. Hello guys.
Hello guys.
Okay.
Hello.
Here we have Manash and Shashwatha because Manash is basically the team captain. He actually does most of the management work, and Shashwatha here is the technical head, which is very important position in the team because he used to manage all the stuff in and around the team. So I guess basically what is the actual role of a captain which is actually different from the team members? Manash, can you have comments on this?
So actually, the role of the captain is quite diverse. So I have to deal with the administration. I have to make sure all the subsystems are working properly, and there's a good communication and management between each of them. And over that, then getting the money, the finances of the team, the overall structure, everything. I need to be a part of literally everything, starting from the administration, getting all the support from the administration, to managing the finances of the company, of the team. And over that, I need to also take care of everything, starting from maybe a subsystem, if some subsystem is facing certain issues, I need to look into that and try to get them some help. So yeah, it's pretty diverse.
Yeah. Shashwatha, as you know, you are a part of CV team as well, NITKRacing, where you are a part of vehicle dynamics. I guess you have really good stuff regarding vehicle dynamics in even NITKRacing and also NITKRacing Electric. Could you tell me what could be the difficulties that you get while you are handling two different teams like electric and also combustion?
Okay, so Ajay, right now the electric EV team of NITKRacing is at its inception. So we are just on the first stages of designing our car. Whereas in our CV team, we are in manufacturing. So one of the major difficulties was coordinating with the juniors and keeping track of the work being done. So as you know very well, we are bound by very strict deadlines, and most of these deadlines are provided by Formula Bharat themselves. And we are bound by them, and any delay can have a cascading effect on the entire timeline that we have thought of. Additionally, owing to less number of people currently in the EV first year, the recruits currently which we recruited for the vehicle dynamics and other subsystems. So we have to rely on them fulfilling some major designing tasks. So bringing them up to the speed and making them capable of performing the design work was one of the few challenges that we had to overcome.
I think I can completely agree with Shashwatha, because even I am part of the EV CV team electronics, so I can kind of relate to him, because the work is very diverse. Right now we have to deal with two different teams, and we need to make sure that the distinction between two teams are there, because otherwise you tend to get lost in the work, and then you kind of miss out on keeping the track of whatever work is happening in both the teams. So I completely agree to him.
Okay, Shashwatha, as we know that there are many suspension designs that you go on while designing the whole wheel assembly, etc. Could you tell us what kind of suspension are you going to plan to use in this car?
Yeah, definitely. So right now what we have decided is to use a direct actuation system for our EV car. So just for some background information, we have used this kind of suspension design in our CV car also previously. Now, one of the major reasons that we decided to go for a direct actuation suspension is, although it has a few negative downsides, but the thing is, it's very simple to design, and it's very easy to analyze also, and very easy to manufacture. one more reason was that since this is our first car, right, and we don't have any data to validate whatever simulations we are going to perform. So having a direct actuation suspension simplifies the entire suspension geometry, and it helps us make a much more real life simulation very easily and within the deadline. It's very easy to perform such simulation. Yeah.
Okay. Manash, as you being the captain of this new team, could you tell us how are you planning to maintain the legacy of NITKRacing in an electric? As the future is basically electric and you want to move in to a greener environment. What are your plans on that?
Alright, so yeah, so this is just the start right now. We have started with a new team right now. The thing is, because eventually everyone knows CV will be pushed out of the competition, because even the competition organizers are trying to push more for EV because it's ultimately the green technology and it's the technology of the future. And if we start right now, I think it's a good time to start, because the technology in terms of battery technology or the motor technology has been mature enough that the project is reliable. You can make it possible right now. Like if I say we started a team like I think 10 years back, I think it would have been more difficult situation, because outsourcing different things like batteries and motors and everything would have been more difficult. But in current ecosystem, I think we have more options right now. There are more players in the market, so we get more options in terms of choosing in parts, getting technical support. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I completely agree with Manash on this point. Another aspect of this is, since in India there aren't a lot of EV teams who participate in Formula Bharat or even represent India in foreign Formula student competition. So since we already have an experience making a CV car, and I mean regarding the electronic sides, of course Manash is an expert with that and he's handling it quite proficiently. Manash and other his juniors who are working on that. Barring that side, I would say we have a much better chance of securing titles if we participate in Formula Bharat with an EV car, since there aren't a lot of teams currently, and it's a good time to start designing and building a new EV team.
Okay. Keeping in the mind that there are many kinds of transmissions that are used in a Formula car or in Formula student car. Usually there are like open differential, slip differential or anything, and also like spool. Actually, I think we are going on to use spool as for the handling of the vehicle. Could you explain what might be the downsides of the spool and what might be the advantages of the spool and why we are using it?
Yeah, definitely, Ajay. So the thing is, if I'm gonna speak it in layman's terms, if we use a spool, right? So what happens is basically both the wheels are sort of locked with each other. So what happens in a differential is both the rear wheels are free to move relative to each other. Okay, they are independent of each other. But that is not the case for a spool. So it almost acts as a solid axle which is connecting the two wheels. Now, one of the biggest queries that some of the viewers might have is, this spool might, drastically affect the, steering capabilities and the handling of a vehicle during corners. So the thing is, we have already implemented this spool in CV car, and this is actually technology that has been used previously in Formula students. Okay, and we have designed it such that we should be able to, the load transfer should be such that the spool shouldn't pose much of an issue while handling. The only problem that one of the biggest problems that it can pose is that since both the wheels will be locked together, right? So there won't be any differential action. But we have ensured that the design is such that the load transfer will be such that there shouldn't be any issues with the handling. Yeah.
I think Shashwatha is completely right with his that because the ultimately while using spool or any differential, like ultimately it comes to like how you balance the suspension tuning with the drivetrain. That's the ultimate goal. Like so,
if you're if you know you're supposed to use spool, you'll design the suspension accordingly, and we have done that, and we
kind of achieve decent results with using spool in machine car. So I think we can go ahead with.
Okay. We all know like a car needs a cost budget or a money or marketing. So what are your estimation for your budget of all the components like in EL, in vehicle dynamics, in powertrain?
So overall budget of the car is going to be around 16-ish lakh, like 16, in the domain of 16 to 17 lakh. Because we are a new team, so we need to buy a lot of equipments which are very specific to EV, like say a battery spot welder, and then a lot of other things. So that's a big investment, I suppose, and we are trying to raise 50% of that amount this year and then 50% next year. Meanwhile, I think budget allocation for the in most of the majorly the budget allocation is in the motor, the controller, the battery. These three components cost the maximum amount of money, with the motor costing around just around $4,000, and the controller also costing around $5,000, and the battery pack costing around $3,500, like something just for the cell. And after that, the manufacturing cost. So overall, and you need to have a spare battery pack and the charger. So charger also costing around $900-$800. So everything is in dollars because currently there are not much options that are available in India. Like you have to import almost everything, and then there is a lot of shipping charges, custom duties, and everything. So overall, including everything, I think we reach around the budget of 15 lakhs. And after that, subsystem wise, I think the next most expensive part of the car is the vehicle dynamics, because you have to custom manufacturing all the wheel assembly, and those are critical parts. You can't make any compromise in them.
We try to manufacture quite a lot of components in house. So we successfully manufactured the chassis of a CV car last year, and we are already experienced regarding that.
So we can
Actually design and manufacture a lot of components in-house regarding our mechanical side, that is the chassis and bodywork and the vehicle dynamics. However, there are quite a bit of components which have to be CNC machined or laser cut, water jet cut. So they can also add up to quite a bit of cost. Okay. So we are trying to approach sponsors as we speak, and hopefully we will be able to get the funds to manufacture a car as well.
As we all know that we have produced chassis in-house, and we might also produce most of the mechanical parts in-house in NITK. So coming to the braking, we all know braking is a very crucial part in a vehicle. Could you tell me what kind of braking you guys are planning to use in this electric car?
Definitely, Ajay. So right now we have decided that we will be using outboard braking for our front and inboard braking for our rear. So the reason we decided to use inboard braking for the rear is since we are using a spool design, so it is easier to mount a rear disc brake, an inboard disc brake for the rear. One of the, out of many advantages the inboard braking system has, one of the major advantages is it reduces the unsprung mass, and that ultimately improves your handling characteristics of the vehicle.
As we all know, there is a global pandemic going on all over the world. Like, you guys are the team heads, and you have so much responsibility on your heads. So could you tell us how are you managing the team, and how are you passing your messages, and how are you handling the whole teamwork, like using some of the meets or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. So right now, the biggest challenges that we face due to this pandemic is effective knowledge transfer and the recruitment, because since this is the first since we are starting the team from the ground up this year, we rely heavily on our recruits. Okay, so regarding recruitment, we had to conduct online recruitment, and that was something that wasn't done ever in the history of NITKRacing. So we had to conduct different interviews, quizzes, give them assignments, and it wasn't really easy to pick the best and the most dedicated members for NITK Racing. But at the end of the day, I am quite satisfied with how it all turned out. So Manash, you have something to add?
Yeah, I completely agree to him. And actually, regarding making so in order to make the communication more crystal clear, right now we are using a set of different applications and project management tools like Notion, Slack, WhatsApp, and we have our groups on WhatsApp where we communicate the messages like a subsystem-wise group. And we try to make sure that there is a single point of contact in the team. In per subsystem, so that there is no confusion in the subsystem. Say, if I want to pass a message to low voltage system, then I'll contact the subsystem head of low voltage system and I'll pass the message to him, and he'll pass on the message to the relevant body. This makes sure that there is no confusion in between. So if I say I directly go and pick up some member of the subsystem and I pass the message to him, and then there's some confusion and someone else passes some other message to him, there might be a chance that he might not be able to do the thing he was actually supposed to do properly because of that confusion. So we write our main point of contact for each subsystem is the subsystem head. We contact them usually using phone calls or WhatsApp groups. And for formal documentation, we use Notion. So everything that you do in terms of design, in terms of decision making regarding some certain parts or anything, we make sure that goes on Notion so that everyone can go through it, and the communication is very transparent. And that's, I think, is very essential at the time right now, because we are not close to each other. We are very far away, so there's a high chance that you might miss something out.
Okay. Being in this amateur team like NITKRacing Electric is a team where we have made many progress. This team, can you tell what are your future plans to improve this team from this amateur position to an expert position?
Yeah, so as of now, the team, as you told, we have started. So we are not exactly an amateur team as such, because even though we are getting into electric category for the first time, we already had participated in the CV competitions, and we have done that for almost 10 years now. So we fairly have the idea of the competition as such. Yeah, electric category as such is new for us, but I think within 2 to 3 years we will do really well in the. We'll have a decent position in the electric category as well, because we, as a team, have a lot of experience in building cars compared to someone who's just getting into Formula One and starting on electric. And I think personally, we have enough expertise in terms of design, because we have designed, I think, 78 cars till now. So that gives a lot of experience, and I think the only part that changes in terms of electric is the accumulator design or the control system a bit, and the engine is replaced by a motor, and simultaneously there are certain changes that are made according to that. But apart from that, there's a car, right? The suspension system, the chassis designing, placement of the parts, packaging, manufacturing process, everything we have mastered it over time and for 10 years. So I don't think it's a big challenge as such for us. Yeah, definitely electronics is a challenge, but I think by the end of 2-3 years we can get to a position that we can be competing with top teams in India.
Okay. Thank you guys for being in this podcast by sharing your whole points before the audience. I guess we will become a good team, and we might be lagging in some points, and we will improvise on that, and we will become top 10, or we we are trying to get in top 10 and we might achieve that. Thank you.